Hey everyone, welcome back to Marketing Ninja Unleashed. This is Season 2, Episode 1, and today we're talking about why emotion drives buying decisions and how to use that insight in your messaging, how your internal culture shapes your external brand, the importance of collecting data and how you can do it compliantly. Hi everyone, welcome back to Marketing Ninja Unleashed. I'm Reena, founder of You and Your Story, and I'm so excited to kick off Season 2. If you've been here since Season 1, thank you. But if you're brand new, you've landed in the right place for honest, practical, no-fluff marketing advice that actually works. So Season 1 covered everything from storytelling and branding to Google Ads and personality types. But this season, we're going deeper. So here's what we're going to be covering in today's episode. First of all, I want to talk about how psychology plays a role in every customer decision and how you can use it ethically to convert more leads. Then we'll be going through why your internal culture might be the reason that your brand feels so disconnected from your customers. And we'll be talking about why collecting prospect data is no longer a nice to have, plus how you can do it in a way that's smart and compliant. So let's get into it. Let's start with something foundational. People don't buy with logic. They buy with emotion, and then they justify it with logic afterwards. So many businesses still focus on features, pricing, checklists, and then wonder why it's not landing with their customers. But if you want to know the truth, it's that emotion is what's driving the action. Think about it. People buy insurance for peace of mind. They buy luxury brands for confidence and status. They buy services because they're overwhelmed and they need help. And they don't always realize that that is what they're doing. But you should. Everybody makes decisions based on a feeling, even if they don't openly admit it. And guess what? You're doing it too. You're listening to this podcast because you're looking for ways to help you with your marketing and grow your business. Or you're one of my friends and family members helping to boost my ratings. Either way, I'm really glad you're here. Bringing it back to marketing. Your marketing needs to do much more than explain what you do. It needs to make somebody feel something. Let's take relief as an example. The feeling you want them to come away with is, finally, a solution that understands me. Trust. You want them to believe that you can help. And most importantly, you want to give them a sense of belonging so that they're thinking, this feels like it was made for people just like me. And I don't mean manipulating your audience, far from it in fact. It means understanding what's going on in their head before they ever see your call to action. So if your marketing isn't leading with empathy, you're just adding to all the noise that's already around. So next time you're writing a social post, an ad, or even an email, ask yourself, what do I want my readers or viewers to feel in this moment? Start there. The clicks will follow. Now, I want to talk about something that I don't think gets enough credit in marketing. Your internal culture. You can have the most beautifully designed brand in the world, the slickest strategy, the best social post. But if your team aren't bought in, it shows. Marketing isn't just about what you post. It's about what people experience when they work with you. And that starts on the inside. I've worked with brands where the message and the mood just don't match. The campaigns, the awards, the events all say, we care, we're great, we're amazing. But then you look at the team, they look drained, overworked, and generally just not happy. If we look at retail, for example, a shop could be posting online and the social post will be filled with personality. But if you went into the shop and the customer service was robotic, that is a huge red flag. But it's definitely avoidable. And it needs to be, because the reality is your internal energy becomes external perception. So how do you build that internal alignment? Talk to your team before you talk to your audience. Have regular catch-ups, even a 30-minute brand session with sweets, updates, and a safe space to ask questions makes a huge difference. Let your staff help shape the tone. They're the ones interacting with customers. Celebrate all your wins internally before you post about them externally. Because when your team understands the brand and feels like they're part of it, they naturally communicate it in every conversation. And in a world filled with faceless marketing, that human touch is what makes brands memorable. Now onto a topic that often gets overlooked: data collection. Specifically, why every business should be collecting prospect data and how you can do it right. I want to clarify, I'm not talking about dodgy scraping or shady list buying at all. I'm talking about creating simple, respectful systems to learn from and follow up with people who have actually shown an interest in what you do. Because here's what I've seen before. A business runs a great sales campaign or does a giveaway on social media and through face-to-face events. They get lots of people in front of them, loads of people interested. They get lots of views online, lots of likes, lots of impressions, but then nothing. And unless they buy something from you when you're in front of them, there's no way to follow up, no way to know who was interested, no way to build a relationship. I know you can do this on social platforms and monetize your followers, but that means relying on social media alone. And that's a risky decision. We all saw what happened when the US banned TikTok for almost a whole day. All the influencers and the brands, all heavily relying on TikTok, panicked. And there was no need. What they should have done was move their followers somewhere else. But they hadn't done this, and so they almost lost everything they'd worked so hard for. Before I talk about building your data capture plan, I want to talk about one of my favourite data capture competitions of all times. It was one that I was involved in when I worked at Police Mutual. I have already talked about this, but I am going to mention it again because I loved it. It was a campaign that was exclusively for police officers. And this might sound pretty random to everybody here, but if you speak to a police officer or visit a police station and look in the cutlery drawers, you can guarantee that there will not be a single fork in any of them. You'll find lots of spoons, lots of knives, but no forks. So this data capture campaign gave a police officer the opportunity to sign up to our mailing list and get a free spork in return. It went down really, really well, and police officers were more than willing to provide data for their own spork, and they signed up to our marketing because it was clear that we understood them and their pain points. I want you to bear that in mind when you're planning any data capture campaigns, because that's what will make them successful. So let's talk about building data collection into your strategy. And guess what? It doesn't need to be complicated. First of all, you need to give people a reason to share their details. Nobody wants to just subscribe to a newsletter. They're much more likely to download a free guide, book a discovery call, access a members-only tip sheet, enter a prize draw, or even get 10% off their first order. You're not bribing them, you're just offering value. Just make sure it's something that they actually care about. Step 2, make it really easy. Use short forms. Nobody wants to fill in 12 fields just to get a free download. Ask for the essentials: name, email, maybe one qualifying question if it's relevant. Keep the experience quick and friction-free. Step 3, be clear and compliant. Tell people what you'll do with their data. Add a tick box for them to give you permission to email them for marketing purposes. Not having this one little tick box is what caused so many companies to have lots of drama all over GDPR when it was launched all those years ago. Trust me, I was there. You should also make sure your privacy notice is visible and don't auto-enroll them into 5 other things. This isn't just about GDPR, it's about trust. Transparency is good marketing. Step 4, use the data with purpose. Once you've got it, use it, but do it well. Send a welcome series of emails. Personalize all your follow-ups. Segment your audience so you're only sending them what's actually relevant. The results? You'll get so many more engaged leads, more conversions, and a much warmer audience. Because it's not just about having a huge list of people, it's about having a list that actually wants to hear from you. So, just to summarize, what have we actually covered today? Emotion drives decisions. Marketing to feelings builds trust much faster than features ever will. Your internal energy is your external brand. Align your team before you go out to the public. Collect data, do it well, and don't let your next lead disappear without a trace. These should be the foundations of all your marketing, not just trends, not hacks, just solid, human-centered marketing. Because if you don't know this already, you're actually selling to humans. Season 2 is just getting started, but I want to be even more focused on action this time around. So, after each episode, I'll leave you with one question to reflect on. This week's question: when your ideal customer sees your brand, what do you want them to feel? And does your current marketing reflect that? Think about it, talk to your team about it, and let the answer shape what you do next. Thank you so much for being here on episode 1 of season 2. I'll be back next week with more practical marketing insights, including how you can build a lead magnet that actually converts. And remember, You and Your Story is here to make sure your story is the one the world won't forget.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.